This is your Max Reacts, and I'm continuing the Queen of the Ratchet podcast. This is episode 11. Let's see what happens.
This episode of Queen of the Ratchet is being sponsored by soap. Take a bath before you decide to smash.
We're also being sponsored by toothpaste. Brush your teeth before you decide to beat your meat.
Young mouth ass niggas.
These hoes stay hating. Look, the body is snatch, your face is beat. I see you looking, come give me that meat. I can't keep a man, I guess you see why. I got whole problems, I think I might cry. I'll meet a guy, he'll lay it down, I'll fall in love. Hey, look. That song is off of our latest album, Queen of the Ratchet, Volume 2. You can listen to that song on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Tidal, any musical streaming service you like. Go get your life. And we're back. I'm Cruella DeVille from Disney's 101 Dalmatians. The tea is running hot today, and I'm ready to spill it. I'm Tremaine, the evil stepmother from Disney's Cinderella. You've heard of Dragon Ball Z. Well, this is Petty Ball Z. Let's throw some shade, girls.
Booked, busy, and living my best life. But that's what you do when you're a girl like me. I'm Medusa from Disney's The Rescuers.
I didn't know walking the street corner in the middle of the night counted as being booked and busy.
Oh, hello, Tremaine. You waste no time. You need to take an enema to your booty hole and get all the feces out your body, you toxic trick.
Oh, you want to talk about toxic, but every time you open your legs, it smells like a hazardous chemical spill. Why can't the two of you little bitter baddies be nice to each other?
I can't be sweet to someone that's so sour to me.
Ooh.
You know, Tremaine, you'll catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
And you wouldn't get a response from me if you learn how to zip your crusty behind lips, crater face.
You got some nerve calling me a crater face when your face looks like an unfinished construction site.
This is so entertaining to me. You're more pressed than a panini right now. As much as I enjoy hearing you hens cackle back and forth, there's other tea to get to. Like the fact that some people in fairy tale land think the pandemic is over.
Child, people are running the streets in downtown fairy tale land like we never had a pandemic.
Now that you mention it, I was at the hair salon the other day and I saw...
Wait a minute, girl. What were you doing at the hair salon? You ain't got no edges.
Herbie Puss, be nice. Now, what were you saying, Tremaine? Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted, I saw Rapunzel at the hair salon the other day getting her hair and nails done without a mask. You know that girl been in a tower her whole life and she don't understand her privilege.
I heard she smelled like hot dog water.
Who you heard that from?
Moana. You know that shady little princess always has all the tea.
You know I like that Moana. She's always been underrated by overrated, pasty, privileged princesses.
Okay.
Speaking of privilege, did you hear that Little Red Riding Hood is under fire for calling the cops on the big bad wolf?
That unsalted french fry stay calling the cops on
Well,
somebody.
damn.
Apparently she felt threatened and thought that he was going to bite her.
Isn't the big bad wolf vegetarian? I've known him for several years and he doesn't even like white meat.
Not only has Little Red Riding Hood received several death threats, but she's also been disowned and banned from her grandmother's house.
Oh, well, I don't feel bad for her. Go eat your raisins and sit down somewhere.
I think people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Riots and protests have broken out in downtown fairy tale land, and people are looting the fairies. You heard me. Looting the fairies. Taking magic pixie dust from everybody, honey.
The fairies don't got nothing to do with police brutality, though.
Well, from what I gather, they're taking the magic pixie dust and slinging it in the face of white supremacists in hopes to end white privilege. My problem is don't go tear up your own neighborhood. Go tear up the neighborhood of the white supremacists.
Or just peacefully protest.
Well, here's my thought. Stop telling people not to riot. Peaceful protesting wasn't working. Period.
You never know who's a member of the KKK these days. They could be a doctor, teacher, lawyer, your imaginary friend.
Imaginary friend, girl.
You never know. Don't trust any of these salt shakers, even if they're a Disney princess.
Speaking of Disney princesses,
Snow White is tired of people calling her a Karen and thinks that this is a form of reverse racism.
Girl, go
Acting
find.
like a Karen, you deserve to be called a Karen.
And if you
Exactly.
look back at Snow White's storyline, she had some very Karenish behavior.
Harassing wild animals, moving in with 7 white perverts.
And let's not forget eating food from just anybody's house.
How you gonna have a name like Snow White and not expect to be called a Karen? Girl, sit down somewhere.
Well, since we're talking about Karens, our special guest today knows a lot about Karens because he's messed around with a couple of them. Why don't you introduce yourself?
You want to call me a man whore, I'll take that. You want to call me the white devil, I'll also take that name. Or you want to call me later, hey, let's get it poppin'. I'm Hades and I'm from Disney's Hercules.
Hades, you've slept around with a few Disney princesses and villains in your day.
Okay.
What's stopping you from settling down?
My heart belongs to one person right now, and unfortunately, that person doesn't care for me.
You talking about Maleficent? Didn't she try to kill you off to end white privilege?
She was mad, and who could blame her? White people can be
shit.
the devil sometimes, am I right? I don't know if I could forgive a person for stabbing me in the back the way Maleficent stabbed you. Hey, we've all done some pretty messed up stuff. There's no loyalty in fairy tale land.
Do you believe that you're Maleficent's baby's father?
If I am the baby's father, I'm going to be there for my kid. If I'm not, I'm still going to be there for Maleficent because I have love for her. Can you just
Okay.
tell us all what happened in hell between you, Cruella, and Maleficent? A really great time with some really great people. Now, what I'm going to say is this. What happens in hell stays in hell.
Who are you voting for fairy tale president?
To be honest with you, I never understood why Maleficent and Cruella are running apart. I think they should be on the same ticket. Who would be the president and who would be the vice president? There's qualities that I like in both candidates. Cruella seems to be what the people want, and Maleficent seems to be what the people need.
Well, I'm not running the country with that fake Rosa Parks. You can just forget that.
Why can't the two of you just put your differences aside and do what's best for fairy tale land?
Because I can't work with someone that I don't trust, Hades, and I don't trust that fake woke hoe.
Well, I guess we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, I guess we will. Let's take a break.
Look at me, I'm white privilege. I pledge of allegiance. You call me a racist. Well, I'm not that basic. I'm white privilege.
That song is one of the many parodies that Queen of the Ratchet has done. You can listen to that song on SoundCloud. Go get your life. And we're back. Listen, I don't have a problem with Hades. Actually like him. But if you're friends with my enemy, I can't be friends with you. And that is that.
That's a low budget way of looking at it, but if that's how you want to view it, that's how you want to view it.
That's how I want to view it. I can barely stand the side of you, Tremaine, because I still know that you're working with Maleficent. Hashtag Cruella DeVille for fairy tale president.
We'll see about that come election day.
Speaking of election day, people keep asking, when is the petty election? It's going to be around November, so keep your eyes and ears open because I have plenty of tea to spill.
And so does Maleficent.
Now, before we go, is there any advice y'all want to leave the petty audience with?
I got one. In the words of T.S. Madison, block them hating ass hoes while they're typing. That'll mess them up.
Here's mine. There's no business like your own business, so mind it. You'll be so much happier. Well, what I have to say is to the white race. People of color are not here to make you comfortable. Now sit your behind down somewhere. With that being said, I hope you're following everything that is Queen of the Ratchet. Till next time.
All of that and then some. Agreed. Like literally, you know, I remember the protests and stuff like that. And I lived in a very, very red state, y'all, where it was just a little different. Nobody was really doing a lot of protesting. But there were some peaceful organizations that, you know, happened. But the rest of the world was in shambles, and it was hard to be a black man in a very white state. In a very white town, a white city, it was just different. I was, you know, kind of mortified for my life some days because I was just like, I don't know. what I'm living in. I was telling my grandmother the other day that I used to have like nightmares at that time because people were so unhinged, you know, on both sides, but more so where I lived, I had to deal with white supremacy, racism, just blatant examples of things that you just don't want to be around as an African American. But yes, this was a good one. Let me know your thoughts on this below. Comment, like, subscribe. Until next time, peace.